And welcome back, everyone. Whether it's today's economic conditions or relationship and health worries, which have always been around, life can be a big bag of stress for some people, a lot of people, particularly right now. Author Bonnie Maley has been helping people cope with stress for a very long time, and you're a life coach as well as an author.
Yes.
Welcome. Your book is called Thoughts from Within, A Guide to Inner Peace in a Crazy World. And the world certainly right now for a lot of people is crazy.
Yes, it is. I know so many people that are feeling a lot of stress right now.
So I guess let's begin with the outline of why all the stress and worry. What are the factors that contribute to this?
Well, aside from the fact that we've been taught that stress helps us in some way, and it has become a habit, I have a lot of clients that come and they say to me, I need the stress because that's what's going to make me productive, or I need the stress because that way I'll figure out the answer. So we do have stress because it's a habit, and we think there's a payoff in having stress. But there are also some underlying reasons that we have stress. And I will go through them fairly quickly. But the first is that most of us believe at some level we're not good enough. And it may not come out as being shy, but it may come out as being judgmental or taking things personally, or being in an office situation and misinterpreting what somebody says as an insult. And as a result, that would cause stress. So one of the things that I work with people on is how to really be confident in ourselves and how to love ourselves better so that you are not reacting in ways that are creating stress in your life.
And that you can let situations go.
Yes, exactly. You know, if you feel good about who you are and somebody misinterprets you, or somebody makes what you may see as a criticism, you will no longer see it as a criticism. And so that eliminates so much conflict in life right there.
Okay, if we can throw that list back up there, I want to take a look at some of the other things you had identified. Your inability to let go of attachment. What do you mean by that?
Most of us have a vision of how we think things ought to go, how it should work out, how somebody in our life should show up, what my boss should say, what my husband should do. And I call that an attachment. We have this attachment to how things should be. And as a result, we even try to control everything in our environment so that our attachments can be met, so that we can feel happy and comfortable and relaxed. But so often our attachments don't come to be, or things don't work out the way we want them to be, or it's so difficult to control it so that it does come out the way that we want it to be. And so one of the tools in learning to let go of stress is learning to let go of an attachment and go with the flow a little bit more, because there are things in our lives, even simple things like traffic, that we have no control over. But if I have an attachment to how traffic is flowing, then how am I going to feel?
You got to let that go.
Yes.
And then fear of the future. I would imagine this is a big one.
Oh, fear of the future is huge. What if, what if, what if? We sit around and we make up in our heads all of these possible outcomes, and what happens is, although there are infinite possibilities out there, and you never know who's going to call or what's going to happen or who's going to knock on the door in the next moment, we get this idea of what we think is going to happen, and we sort of glom onto it, and as a result, we start to worry about it and get fearful about it and get very stressed out about it. And what we really need to do is say, wait a minute, this is just an idea that I made up in my head.
Yes.
I'm just making this up.
You have to have control over that. And we have about 30 seconds left. I want to touch on this last one, the integrity issue.
Okay, not being in integrity with ourselves means that we say yes when we mean no. And most
not being true to yourself.
Yeah, well, and most of the time we do that because we're afraid. I'm afraid that I'm going to insult somebody or hurt their feelings, or they're not going to want to do business with me if I say no. The problem is that when we say yes, when we prefer to say no, we end up being resentful. And that, again, causes stress.
Okay, we showed a picture of your book. If we can put that up, and you can tell people where they can get your book online, as well as on your website.
You can order the book on lifebalancing.com, or excuse me, lifebalancingcoach.com. You can also get it on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
And you do one-on-one sessions, which I
Yes.
think for a lot of people is very beneficial, even if they just do 1 or 2 sessions with you.
Yes.
It kind of helps you get off on the right foot. Very quickly, for 2009, what is your best piece of advice for our viewers?
I think that the most important thing in doing any of the work that I teach is that you have to want it. You have to really believe that letting go of stress will make life better. You have to believe that if you change your thinking, that things will change. And so you've got to really believe, you've got to want.
And you believe in yourself. Bonnie, thank you so much. Very interesting book. I appreciate all your tips. Great
Thank
stuff.
you.
Happy
Thank
New
you.
Year to you as
To you
well.
too.
All right, we are going to head now back out to Brittany. She's at the Heard Museum. Britt, what